There is a huge gap between us Jews and our enemies, not just in ability, but in morality, culture, sanctity of life, and conscience. They are our neighbors here, but it seems as if at a distance of a few hundred meters away, there are people who do not belong to our continent, to our world, but actually belong to a different galaxy. Israeli President Moshe Katsav, the Jerusalem Post, May the 10th, 2001. The Palestinians are like crocodiles. The more you give them meat, they want more. Ehud Barak, Prime Minister of Israel at the time, August 28, 2000, reported in the Jerusalem Post, August 30, 2000. The Palestinians are beasts, walking on two legs. Menachem Begin, speech to the Knesset, quoted in Amnon Kapeliuk. New Statesman, 25th of June 1982. The Palestinians should be crushed like grasshoppers, heads smashed against the boulders and walls. Israeli Prime Minister at the time, in a speech to Jewish settlers, New York Times, April 1st, 1988. When we have settled the land, all the Arabs will be able to do about it is to scurry around like drug cockroaches in a bottle. Raphael Eitan, Chief of Staff of the Israeli Defense Forces, New York Times, 14th April 1983. How can we return the occupied territories? There is nobody to return them to. Golda Meir, March the 8th, 1969. There is no such thing as Palestinians. They never existed. Golda Meir, Israeli Prime Minister, June 15th, 1969. The thesis of the danger of genocide was hanging over us in June 1967, and that Israel was fighting for its physical existence is only bluff, which was born and developed after the war. Israeli General Matityahu Peled reported in Haaretz, 19th of March 1972. Ben-Gurion warns in 1948, "We must do everything to ensure the Palestinians never do return," assuring his fellow Zionists that Palestinians will never come back to their homes. From "the old will die and the young will forget." We have to kill all the Palestinians unless they are resigned to live here as slaves. Chairman Heilbrunn of the Committee for the Re-election of General Shlomo Lahat, the mayor of Tel Aviv, October 1983. Every time we do something, you tell me America will do this and will do that. I want to tell you something very clear. Don't worry about the American pressure on Israel. We, the Jewish people, control America, and the Americans know it. Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, October the 3rd, 2001, to Shimon Peres, as reported on Kol Yisrael Radio. We declare openly that the Arabs have no right to settle on even 1 centimeter of Eretz Israel. Force is all they do or ever will understand. We shall use the ultimate force until the Palestinians come crawling to us on all fours. Raphael Eitan, Chief of Staff of the Israeli Defense Forces. Gad Becker, Yediot Achronot, 13 April 1983, and the New York Times, 14 April 1983. We must use terror, assassination, intimidation, land confiscation, and the cutting of all social services to rid the Galilee of its Arab population. Israel Kunig, the Kunig Memorandum. Jewish villages were built in the place of Arab villages. You do not even know the names of these Arab villages. I do not blame you because geography books no longer exist. Not only do the books not exist, the Arab villages are not there either. Nalal arose in the place of Malul, Kibbutz Gvat in the place of Jipta, Kibbutz Sarit in the place of Hunefis, and Kefar Yeshua in the place of Tal al-Shuman. There is not a single place built in this country that did not have a former Arab population. Moshe Dayan, addressed to the Technikon, Haifa, reported in Haaretz, April the 4th, 1969. We walked outside, Ben Gurion accompanying us. Alon repeated his question, what to be done with the Palestinian population? Ben Gurion waved his hand in a gesture which said, drive them out. Yitzhak Rabin leaked a censored version of Rabin memoirs published in the New York Times, 23 October 1979. Rabin's description of the conquest of Lydda after the completion of Plan Dalet. We shall reduce the Arab population to a community of woodcutters and waiters. Yuri Lubrani, PM Ben Gurion's special advisor on Arab affairs in 1960, from The Arabs in Israel by Sabri Girias. Everybody has to move, run, and grab as many hilltops as they can to enlarge the settlements, because everything we take now will stay ours. Everything we don't grab will go to them. Ariel Sharon, Israeli foreign minister, addressing a meeting of militants from the extreme right-wing Tzomet party. Agence France Presse, November the 15th, 1998. It is the duty of Israeli leaders to explain to public opinion clearly and courageously a certain number of facts that are forgotten with time. The first of these is that there is no Zionism, colonization, or Jewish state without the eviction of the Arabs and the expropriation of their lands. Yoram Bar Porath, Yediat Achronot of 14 July 1972. Spirit the penniless population across the frontier by denying it employment. Both the process of expropriation and the removal of the poor must be carried out discreetly and circumspectly. Theodor Herzl, founder of the World Zionist Organization, speaking of the Arabs of Palestine, Complete Diaries, June 12, 1985 entry. 1 million Arabs are not worth a single Jewish fingernail. Rabbi Yaakov Perrin, February the 27th, 1994. From the New York Times, February 28th, 1994, page 1. We Jews are the destroyers and will remain the destroyers. Nothing you can do will meet our demands and needs. We will forever destroy because we want a world of our own. You Gentiles, by Jewish author Maurice Samuels, page 155. We will have a world government whether you like it or not. The only question is whether that government will be achieved by conquest or consent. Jewish banker Paul Warburg, February the 17th, 1950, as he testified before the U.S. Senate. We will establish ourselves in Palestine whether you like it or not. You can hasten our arrival, or you can equally retard it. It is, however, better for you to help us so as to avoid our constructive powers that turned into a destructive power which will overthrow the world. Chaim Weizmann, published in Jüdische Rundschau, number 4, 1920. Our race is the master race. We are divine gods on this planet. We are as different from the inferior races as they are from insects. In fact, compared to our race, other races are beasts and animals, cattle at best. Other races are considered as human excrement. Our destiny is to rule over the inferior races. Our earthly kingdom will be ruled by our leader with a rod of iron. The masses will lick our feet and serve us as our slaves. Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, in a speech to the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, quoted by Amnon Kapeliuk, Begin and the Beasts, New Statesman, June 25, 1982. Tell me, do the evil men of this world have a bad time? They hunt and catch whatever they feel like eating. They don't suffer from indigestion and are not punished by heaven. I want Israel to join that club. Maybe the world will then at last begin to fear us instead of feeling sorry. Maybe they will start to tremble, to fear our madness instead of admiring our nobility. Let them tremble. Let them call us a mad state. Let them understand that we are a savage country, dangerous to our surroundings, not normal, that we might go wild, that we might start World War III just like that, or that we might one day go crazy and burn all the oil fields in the Middle East. Even if you'll prove to me that the present war is a dirty, immoral war, I don't care. We shall start another war, kill and destroy more and more. And do you know why it's all worth it? Because it seems that this war has made us more unpopular among the uncivilized world. We'll hear no more of that nonsense about the unique Jewish morality. No more talk about a unique people being a light upon the nations. No more uniqueness and no more sweetness and light. Good riddance. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. The modern age is the Jewish age, and the 20th century in particular is the Jewish century. Yuri Slezkin, Professor of History at University of California, Berkeley, The Jewish Century, Princeton University Press. What shocks and worries me is the narrow-mindedness and short-sightedness of our military leaders. They seem to presume that the state of Israel may, or even must, behave in the realm of international relations according to the laws of the jungle, the long chain of false incidents and hostilities we have invented, and so many clashes we have provoked. From the diary of Moshe Sharet, former Prime Minister of Israel in Livia Rokash, Israel's Sacred Terrorism, published 1980.